Morning world, it's about 9 a.m. on Tuesday the 8th of September 2020 and this is a video about Jupiter conjunct Pluto. But first I need to say something. I put up a video yesterday on the astrology of mask wearing. It was a Mickey take, and yeah, I did warn people it was a rant and it was 2 minutes long, and I took it down after about 2 hours. I took it down for two reasons. The main reason I took it down was because I criticised a lot of people who refused to wear masks in churches, supermarkets, on public transport for various egotistical reasons, and I called them unintelligent and stupid. I made a big mistake. I did not say that there's a lot of people out there who for very good and valid medical reasons can't wear masks, and I lumped all of those people in with the morons who choose not to wear masks for egotistical reasons, for which I grovelingly, humbly and sincerely apologise. Sorry. I also took the video down because after a couple of hours the amount of trolling I was getting was vitriolic, and it felt like I was a lump of meat on a hook which was being dipped into a pond full of piranhas. I was being savaged, but anyway, I took that down. Anyway, that's done. So today's video, Jupiter conjunct Pluto. It's happening in Capricorn. It's been going on for about 6 months. It's going to continue for another 2 or 3 months. Jupiter finally finishes conjuncting Pluto around mid-November. Come back to that statement in a minute. Pluto on its negative side deals with obsessive and compulsive, intense and extreme circumstances. It can lead to crises and trauma. It can lead to fear when you know what you're scared of, phobia when you know that you're scared but not what of, and paranoia, which is the persecution complex. Pluto also deals on the neutral side with purging and detoxing, cleansing, purifying and eliminating. And on the positive side, it deals with transformation, regeneration and rebirth. Caterpillar into butterfly, snake shedding skin, phoenix rising from the ashes. Pluto in Capricorn is slowly but steadily transforming our ideas of governance. The whole idea of strong, strict, stable, structured government has kind of collapsed in this last decade or so. Pluto moved into Capricorn in 2008 and it will be there for another 3 years. And governance now, regardless of whether we're being governed by governments or by councils or by mobsters and crooks and gangsters or by corporates or by Amazon, doesn't really matter. The whole idea of governance is changing. People are becoming much more independent in terms of living by their own rules and boundaries rather than, or as much as, those imposed upon them by the world around them. And people are losing confidence in governments. Jupiter in Capricorn, Jupiter deals with, on the positive side, hope, faith, belief, humour, growth, optimism, self-expansion, higher consciousness, education, travel, wisdom. Its hope and humour side are reflected in its rulership of Sagittarius, and with that comes a link towards faith and belief, which is why Jupiter's exalted in Pisces. But Jupiter doesn't like being in Capricorn. Capricorn is Saturn's domain. Capricorn has structures and boundaries, and Jupiter likes being wafty and gassy at the edges. The negative side of Jupiter is that of being over the top, larger than life, biting off more than they can chew, overestimating, overspending, overweight, overindulgence, over everything. Jupiter conjunct Pluto have started around late January 2020. It got stronger as we got into February and March, and now it's coming again in November for the final time. For 12-13 years. Jupiter is amplifying a lot of Pluto's deep, dark urges, which on the positive side suggests that Jupiter is really amplifying the underlying currents of Pluto, and that so many people out there are doing so much good work on themselves in terms of their own psychology, their own self-transformation, their own self-development, and what I call the growth of a soul from within. There's a lot of people out there really doing some deep, serious, heavy duty deep mining, deep diving into the bottom of their soul, and they're coming out of this invulnerable, transformed, regenerated, rebirthed, and in a way that makes them more self-empowered and psychologically stable than ever before. And this is permanent. Jupiter's also encouraging a lot of people to do a lot of research, deep diving, uncovering. It's very forensic. It's getting to the bottom of things and bringing things to the surface. A lot of secrets are coming out. Nothing can be kept secret anymore. Jupiter is also strongly amplifying Pluto's capacity for paranoia, insecurity, fear and phobia, and this is represented by the radical upsurge of conspiracy theories, of people who are so insecure in themselves that they're just searching desperately for someone else to blame for their problems. Whether it be Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, various other multi-billionaires, or whether it be their governments, or whether it be me, or whoever it is. Jupiter conjunct Pluto is amplifying Pluto's primal urges for transformation and regeneration, and when that's blocked, then it comes out in a compulsive and obsessive way where a person's truth is all there is and anything outside that belief cannot be true, which is the root of fundamentalism and fanaticism. Jupiter will conjunct Pluto for the final time as we get into mid-November of this year. Mid-late November. And that's why I'm thinking that at this time we will then see, first of all, a major resurgence of probably COVID worldwide, and then it will disappear. Well, not disappear, then it will decrease significantly, I suspect, as Jupiter moves away from Pluto, and by the time we're into solstice and Jupiter and Saturn together are moving into Aquarius, whole new ball game. Whole new ball, a whole different world. Then next year we'll be dealing with the after effects of COVID and the global economy, but that's next year. We can look at that another time. Seems to me that the coming 8 to 9 weeks, 9 to 10 weeks, through to about September the 25th, so 11 weeks really, is very much a time of holding our breath and let's get through this, because things are going to get worse in the short term. But this is the lancing of the boil. All the poison is coming to the surface. It's like a giant zit. And yes, all the nut jobs out there are going to be sort of getting more and more paranoid about losing their identity, losing their freedom, and it's all someone else's fault. And there's always a reason, and there's always a conspiracy. And they're the only ones who know the truth. Jupiter conjunct Pluto is amplifying these fears out of proportion. Jupiter conjunct Pluto is also amplifying our own individual attempts to psychoanalyze ourselves, to dig deep inside ourselves, and to become more invulnerable as good human beings. Equal and opposite, black and white. Jupiter conjunct Pluto is the best and the worst of us all. And it's over by the end of November. So hang in there, world. We've done 6 months of this. We've got just under another 3 months to go. We're about 70, nearly 75% of the way through this. Catch you later, world. Bye.